back to the Fox Robbins Business Show. Great to have you back again. This is, we've done over something north of 160 shows, I think.
Really?
I got to count them.
All
But
right.
do we care?
And we're so young.
Yeah, that's right. Great to have you guys back. The Fox Robbins Show was all about creating your very best business ideas. And I mean, we're here to help and encourage and move things along, whether you're just thinking about starting a business or buying an existing one, or maybe jumping into a franchise opportunity, or you're already in business and you need some help and encouragement, direction, advice, or new ideas and so forth. That's why we're here. I'm the co-host of the show, Bill Fox, but the other co-host is, get this guy is phosphorescent, he's potent, he's proficient, radiant, and he has a personality resplendent with knowledge.
Mr. Bill.
Coach Robbins.
How you doing?
Coach, we're going to do a show today about how to say no.
No.
Well, but I was going to say,
yes.
You to me, you always come across as a yes guy. I mean, you love to say yes.
I do love to say yes, but I don't mind saying no either.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I didn't want this show
I'm not as good as my wife.
Oh.
Or she's really good at saying no.
Well, but that's more
I'll
like
say
an
something to her.
automatic no. I mean, it's.
Well, it's important.
I mean, there's an automatic, but there's a studied no. Isn't there? I mean, there's a difference.
Okay.
You gotta go.
No. Well, she has no problem.
And what I want to ask you, is that this it comes across maybe as a simplistic topic, saying no, but the fact is, in business, saying no is easier said than done.
It is sometimes very difficult depending upon the circumstances, but you got to learn to do it. I mean, there's only two letters, there's an N and an O.
That's it.
And a lot of times I would say to one of my employees, and I'd say no. I said, which part of no don't you understand, the N or the O? Get out of my office.
There is a easier said than done. As a desire to please others. I mean, that can be a
that's
factor.
true. That's the natural. There's just a natural desire, especially in business. The desire to please your employee, your employer especially, or your employees sometimes, certainly, and certainly, family, friends. And here's the biggie, the customer.
Yeah.
And sometimes even to a customer, you got to say no. You've heard the expression, the customer's never wrong. I don't agree with that. The customer's wrong a lot, but what are you going to gain by telling them, you might lose a customer, a good one. So you got to be careful how you deal with them. But sometimes you do have to say no in the best interest of the relationship between you and the customer. Say, I can't do that. Sorry, but I think you could go here and get that squared away. But you got to learn how to say no. It's a very important skill.
There's also saying no is easier said than done. It's how about that you have an impulse on trying to explore every opportunities that come along. You quickly, in other words, you quickly say no. You may be saying no to the iPhone.
Well, you don't want to say it too quickly. That's a great point.
You just said no to the iPhone.
No. Yes, I'll take it. That's great. A great tool. Okay. No, you can't say. You have to give it some thought. You can't just say no. But once you've set a boundary, you really think of the thing through, and you say, "Gee, this is not in the best interest of me or the customer, or whatever. It could hurt the relationship. It could hurt my company. I have to say no to this," and give them an explanation why you're saying no.
Right.
Absolutely.
And saying no is involved in, it involves taking on more than you can handle.
That's
biting
the whole
off
idea,
more than you can chew, being a kid in a candy store, all those kind of things. And also, you may be saying no, you may be worried about any consequences of saying no later on.
Well, you better consider that before you say no.
Yeah.
I mean, just say, if I say no to this, what is the upside and what's the downside? And if there's a lot of downside to saying no, you better think about it,
Yeah. So the idea here, Coach, is we have to learn to master the air of saying no.
Yep.
one thing is, right on the top of the list, is protect your time.
Yep. You see, I just out of interest took a couple of courses in special and general relativity. I still don't understand how time speeds up, and I looked at the vector analysis and got very confused. Now, as fast as you go, I just don't see time slowing down for you and I in the real world, because we really can't get up to 300 feet, 300,000 feet per second, so we're really relative. Time is time.
Yeah.
And we all have 24 hours and 7 days a week in which to do things, and certain things have to be done as part of that. So, especially in the business world, in your business world, especially with the solopreneur, time is of the essence. It's the most valuable thing that one man, one woman business has. So you got to learn to say no to certain things.
Right.
So if you can't do that, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to be all over the place. You have to prioritize.
Yeah.
Say these things come first, and I'll never get to that, so no.
Right, that's exactly, that brings me to my next point, is maintaining focus. You got to learn to say no effectively to maintain your focus.
Otherwise, you get spread out all over the place. You need a mindset. You need to prioritize. You need to pay attention to the tasks that are most important, the tasks at hand, whatever they may be.
Yeah.
And certain things, you could either say no or not now. You know, if it's something you want to address later, or something you just never want to address, no, I can't do it. Sorry.
You want to be able to manage requests that are coming at you for decision.
Yeah.
That are coming when you had your own business. You
Absolutely.
had. I mean, people coming at you are not mindful of your time and your focus, but you got to manage. These requests that are coming at you.
You have to handle them, and you have to give them good consideration on all sides. You have to understand the person coming at you. You have to understand what their circumstances are. That's your job as their boss, being a good boss, and that's what you want to be. Otherwise, they quit. We'll talk about that in another show.
Yeah.
And they're good employees, and so you have to really weigh all of the evidence, all of the facts, and then either proceed or say, gee, no. And it's not a bad idea to give them an explanation why no, so they understand why you said no. That's you don't just have to say, no, get out of here.
Yeah.
No, we can't do that because such and such, or we can't do that right now. You have to learn to evaluate. That's your job as a manager.
Right.
All right, making decisions, and one of the decisions could be no.
Right. And avoiding distractions. That's along the very same
Focus.
line. Focus.
Focus.
Managing the requests that are coming at you.
This crap, this garbage of multitasking, it is just that, garbage.
Yeah.
I see some people, are you good at multitasking? We're looking for somebody good at multitasking. You know what? Nobody's good at multitasking. You're not going to do 7 things all at once as well as you do 7 things one at a time. Yeah. It's never going to happen. Multitasking is a bunch of crap. Focus, get it done, block out the time, and everything know between 10 and 12. This is what I'm doing. I'll get to the other stuff later. This is what's most important.
Well, multitasking, I mean, it sounds good.
Sounds great, but it's a bunch of crap. Oh, I said it.
Oh.
Junk.
So we're going to get into how to get better at saying no.
Yep.
And the first item I want to talk to you about is to actually sit down and think about it and make a stop doing list. Mm-hmm. Stop doing.
Yep.
And you can't, that is to say, item number 1 here is you can't say no without a plan.
Right. Well, I said you have to have some reason you're saying no and a plan.
Right.
What's going on with the decision.
Yeah.
Right?
And that list, your stop doing list would say, what are the biggest drags on you and on your time?
Yep. When we have meetings, I have a bunch of flip charts around the room if I have my druthers. I prefer flip charts even more than grease boards, because that way I can keep them and flip back to them. But we'll have a meeting and we'll be talking about something. And this is an issue at hand and it's something important, or I wouldn't have everybody talking about it. And then somebody comes up with something that really isn't pertinent to what we're doing here, and it's important.
Yeah.
And what I do is I say, this flip chart over here is the parking garage. So I hear what you're saying, but I'm going to put that on the agenda for another time and another place. In other words, I'm saying, no, we're not going to discuss this right now. This is pertinent to what we're doing here. That's important. I'm not belittling that idea or that person, certainly. So I'm going to put it in the parking garage. And after the meeting, we're going to talk about the parking garage at a future time, but not now. So in a way, I'm saying no in a very polite way. No, let's focus, I don't want to multitask, on the job at hand for this meeting.
Okay. This stop doing list, the stop doing list that you perform.
Yep.
If you're following this suggestion, is you would stop having those meetings in prime time.
Yeah, if you're a real
Stop doing that.
creative person and in the morning and it's a creative meeting, well, I'd have that meeting. But if you want to have a creative meeting at 6 o'clock at night and I'm exhausted, I'll be asleep.
But you don't want to have a meeting at 8 o'clock in the morning just for the sake of it, or maybe because you're used to it, or some other.
I don't want to have a meeting for the sake of anything. I want an agenda before the meeting. I hate to have meetings that don't have an agenda, a beginning, an end, a middle, and then responsibilities at the end. And what are we going to do? What the heck's going to be accomplished by this meeting? And who's going to do it, and by when, and before the next meeting? When's the next meeting? All these things have to be planned out.
So your stop doing list is going to say, I'm not going to just automatically have meetings, unless I've thought it out.
I don't. I don't believe in the once a month meeting. If there's nothing to meet about, what are you having a meeting for? Yeah. Oh, we always did it that way. That'd get you shot in my company. Okay? That's one of the things you don't ever say to me. We always do it that way. Yeah. Well, good. What's the meeting about? Now, we had meetings on Monday mornings on a regular basis about certain issues. Well, we knew what those meetings were, and they were timely. They would review the cash position of each store and what have you. So those were important meetings, and we knew what the agenda was. Right. But I'm not going to have a meeting because, well, we haven't had a meeting in a couple of months. Let's have a meeting. About what?
Also, your stop doing list you might want to include stop doing emails from strangers.
This is one of the greatest time savers and wasters at the same time. I'm not against people having them, but they can be misused. Yeah. They're addictive. You don't belong looking at your email every 10 minutes, checking, unless your wife is pregnant and, I mean, there could be a reason, but these things are misused. That's misused. They are tremendous time wasters. Right. I go delete, 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 delete. And then I'll get a call from somebody, hey, did you get my email? I said, geez, I might have deleted it. Would you send it again? That's not a problem because they do the same thing. There's so much junk, there's so much spam that they're tremendous time wasters. So
another thing on your stop doing list was stop reading the news at work.
Well, you read the news at breakfast, all right, while you're buttering your toast, or in the evening. By the way, nobody's reading anything. Well, they're reading maybe on this or their iPad or something. But yeah, don't do it at work. Work is for work,
And your stop doing list, you would have on there, you want to stop foot dragging. You want to keep everything short and focused.
Quick, get it done.
Okay.
Time, 24 hours a day. Like I said, I don't know what special relativity is talking about when time speeds up, time slows down as I speed up. Really? I'm going as fast as I can, but at 186,000 miles a second, I ain't even close.
Now, right next to or right after that stop doing list, to finger wag at yourself, you're going to write down a to-do list.
Yep.
Such as, hit the ground running.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to be, if you have a to-do list, hit the ground running means you have a to-do list. You come into work to start work. You've got that, instead of just stream of consciousness out of your mind. You have a list.
I've got a list every day. I wake up in the morning, I review it the night before, and I've got on my schedule everything, every call I want to make, everything I want to try to accomplish, and anything that doesn't get done, I quite frankly just say, bounce it to the next day or the next week or whatever. But I have a schedule. I don't just wing it. with what's in my head, because that could be scary as hell. You know, I have that right here. That is one good thing that this has.
That to-do list.
My to-do list.
Could
And
make you-
sometimes I'm driving along and I've got the voice and I say, hey, remember tomorrow morning to call, you know, Georgiana and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Absolutely.
That could make you more productive
Yes.
and relax in a way that, you know, you're not worried about, what should I be doing next, you know?
I used to have a pad of paper by the bed when I had my own
What am
company.
I missing?
And I'd be thinking of something. It's 11 o'clock at night. I'm trying to go to sleep. I said, this is on my mind. I got to do it tomorrow. And I'd write it down. I'd put it down. It's off my mind. Computer shuts down. I go to sleep. Next morning, I got up and said, oh, yeah, I got to do that today. Yeah. Good thing to have, even today, even this, you know, great devices.
That to-do list protects you from distraction.
Yep. Focus.
And,
We're back to focus and mindset.
Focus. And no, eliminates no unwanted demands on your time, and you're crystal clear on top priorities.
Yep. Do first things first.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay. And this we're going to get into, Coach, we want to get into this email thing.
Yeah.
Get back. You mentioned it a minute ago, but email is a blessing and a damnation.
Yes, it is.
And so, number one on email, you do not want to be an inefficient reactor. React to email. You want to be managing email. You don't want to be an inefficient reactor.
You do not want to react to anything. I said this on a show many, many years ago. You don't react, you respond.
Oh.
And I haven't got time in one show to explain the difference to you. You don't react to anything. A well-out response. But no, you don't want to be at the mercy of this thing. It is addictive. You don't want to be at the mercy of. I look at my email at 5:30 in the morning and see what came in late yesterday afternoon and evening. Because even if somebody says me something at 4 o'clock, I may not see it till 5:30 the next morning. And then I take a look at my to-do list today, and I may plunk something in there that I want to add, and I may go delete, 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 and I've done this. I go respond, no thank you. No, N-O-T-X, works beautifully. Yeah. I do add the TX, I try to be polite.
I know one thing is, I didn't mention this to you before, you look, right now, you look on my email, my inbox, I think I have 5 or 6 items.
Yeah.
Right now. But a friend of mine, a friend I know, has 500.
You're not going to even look at number 74. I deal with it.
500.
I say I learned long before this, unfortunately, back when we were working on stone and clay tablets. No, anyway, paper. That I'm going to handle it once. I'm not going to put it aside. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to either file it, do it, and then throw it away, or just throw it away. But I don't want to, and then you got to pile this high. Well, same thing happens here with email. Yeah. I don't know what to do with it. I have all kinds of files. I can file it. I'll respond to it, I'll do something, or just delete it.
Right.
But like you, I don't know if I've got 5. I might have 18, 15, 18 in there, but they're all current. They don't go back 6 months, 3 months, 2 months. I delete them, deal with them, or get rid of them.
Right. You don't, on handling email, you do not want to be guilty of nibbling away at endless emails. That guy has got 500 emails on his inbox.
Just a tremendous waste of time. Like I said, this thing has become a great tool and a big waster of time too.
And speaking of that, of time on email, maybe you could set aside a time slot.
I do.
That's a discipline. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
That may be, to some people, a very difficult one to say, I'm going to look at my email between 9 and 10 or whatever.
Yep.
And then I'm going to stop.
Yep. And I'm not going to look at it again till 11:30 before I go to lunch. Right. That's what I do, by the way.
Oh yeah.
I don't look at it. I'm not going to look at it every hour or two.
Right.
Unless there's something important I'm really waiting for.
Right.
Then I will put a notice on a VIP that something's coming from, let's say, the state director, and I have her on my VIP, and then there's a notice that pops up on my computer. Other than that, I don't want you to notify me of anything. You don't run my life. I run my life. I'm not allowing this thing to necessarily run my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, another suggestion is that I think this follows through on something you said previously, is that, or you could elaborate a little bit, is this idea of to power through the inbox. I mean, be brutal, I guess, you know.
I am.
Be
And I make
ruthless.
mistakes. I know you find that hard to believe.
Ruthless.
I know you find that hard to believe. But I make
Mistakes?
mistakes.
That's,
I delete things I shouldn't by
I'm
accident.
surprised that's in your lexicon, you know.
It is. I brutally just, I look at a whole block of stuff and I say, I don't know what the heck this stuff is. Subject matter is very important. Yeah, block, delete.
Yeah.
And then on occasion, I'll get a client who'll send me a note. Did you get that business plan I sent you, that marketing plan? How about that? You didn't answer the question. I said, I'm sorry. I might have deleted you with a bunch of other crap, and I didn't mean to do it. Send it again. I'll take care of it immediately, which I do. I will do that. But I would rather err on that side.
Is that one way of making sure something is important?
If they send it to you a second time, you know what? I don't know this, but I'll bet people send me stuff. It's not that important. I probably would have said no anyway, and then I delete it by accident, and when I don't give them an answer, they just take it as a no. Okay, let's move on. I got things to do. This stuff's going to fall through the crack. Welcome to life.
So, managing email, no email interruptions outside of your those time
The
slots.
time slot. Don't,
You say a time slot?
let's see what's happening.
Yeah.
Let me check my Facebook. I haven't checked it in almost 15 minutes, you know.
Isn't that
Please.
that's what the kids do these days with the handheld
Insane.
computers?
It's insane.
Yeah.
I tell my students at Mass Maritime, I say, don't even take your phone out. I'll see somebody in the back like this, I say, put your phone away. It used to be, I used to have to tell them to turn the ringer off
Yeah.
because they had even their flip phones or their cell phones today.
Right.
Shows you how long I've been teaching. I'd say, I do not want to hear a cell phone ring, okay? Put it on stun, all right?
Yeah.
If you have to put it on anything.
We've already said, you know, time slots, a couple, 2 or 3 30-minute time slots a day,
Yeah, however many you
what-
think. I usually do it, like I said, 5:30. I might work on it for an hour. Then just before lunch or just after lunch, before appointments. And then late in the day at, 3:30, 4, 5 o'clock, whatever time it is, I might look and see what's done, bounce some stuff onto my schedule making that to-do list for the next day. Oh, I don't want to forget to call Evelyn. I want to make sure I can talk to Georgiana about this. Make sure Melinda knows, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Okay, that goes on to my schedule for the following day. And then it's block it all out, delete. By the way, I got a deleted folder. If I say to myself, oh, gee, I deleted something I want to go back to, guess what? I just go to the deleted folder. I said, gee, I think that came through to me the end of July. So I look, I say, oh, there it is, and then I can get it. It's not like it's gone forever because they stay there. I leave them for a month. But after that, it's history, baby. We're moving on.
If you do a time slot, that if you adhere to that discipline, you would give it 100% focus.
Absolutely. There's nothing else going on. Phones are shut off, not this one, but it is shut off.
Right.
And I'm on my computer and I'm working on email and boop, it's done. And then the computer gets closed. It might open again at 4:30. Take a look again. But I'm not looking. See, the thing is, you look at this 25 times a day. That's a mistake.
Yeah.
That's a mistake. This thing has become a distraction as well as a tool. Discipline is the key word here. It always is. Discipline. Unfortunately, not too many people know how to even spell it.
Today, there's a computer app or a program for everything, I guess.
You name it.
There's a computer app that you can get on the internet and download to your smartphone or your laptop computer, whatever. There's one called Inbox When Ready that is a manager for managing email. I don't use that at this point. I mean, I'm managing it, but there are programs on the internet.
If you need them. If you really need to have that forced type of discipline, I highly recommend it.
Just go to Google and say, mail manager for email and
download it. It's
see
free.
See what's available.
It's free.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's free.
And that would be that would allow you to see messages only when you're ready to do so. Now, this is on the subject of saying no. you want to, maybe you want to, teach people around you in your company to expect no.
Yeah.
Don't be a pushover, yes person, but expect no.
Again, the best example I've got is I expect no from my wife. Hey, let's go do this or no. All right.
So don't end up being a victim to yes. From
Well, you
what
can't
we
be-
talked about
victim is a
before is
keyword, yeah.
wanting to please people.
You need
or not knowing,
boundaries. This thing is about discipline and boundaries. I could wrap this whole show up into 2 words. You need discipline and you need to set boundaries.
Right.
My wife's a psychotherapist. I knew you'd know that, right? I'm her prime client. And she talks to clients about it all the time. You need boundaries. You need to have your boundaries, and quite frankly, you better stick with them, right?
You, if you are teaching people to expect a no, or expect that there could be a no, but you level the playing field. I mean, you actually don't want people to say, I'm not going to talk to him because he's going to say no.
No, and that's a good
Or
reason to
I'm
give
going
it
to
a
talk to
reason.
him, he's an easy pushover, he'll
Yeah,
say yes.
both of those are bad.
Those, you said before, that's what you want, boundaries.
You want boundaries, you want to say, if you have to say no because of this, okay?
But you want me, I'm coming to you, what you want me to be thinking, well, I don't know how the coach is going to receive this, I'm not sure.
Right.
But I'll get a hearing, I'm going to try it out.
You'll have an honest hearing.
You'd like me to think that.
Yes, I want you to think that. At my door, I have an open door policy. I call, come on in. But don't expect that every time you come in, I say, oh, yes.
Yeah.
No, doesn't work that way. You say, I just said it. No.
And the teaching people that you might say no, that you want people to know that you want people to know that you are trying to match up your priorities.
Right.
Okay? So, saying no is critical.
Yep.
No meetings before 11 a.m. Saying can't do is weak. Convey your power of conviction. State your rules of commitment. And now you can say yes or no.
Yeah.
Right?
You have a choice. You can say
Okay.
yes to no.
Thanks for coming back to the Fox Robbins Business Show. It's been fun to talk about this, saying no or saying
Yes.
yes. Yes. And we'll see you guys next time. Make sure send any comments to foxrobbins@gmail.com, and we will see you guys next time.